right now, today, if there was an active shooter on EIU's campus, would we be equipped to handle it?
Well, first of all, we hope that doesn't happen.
Coming up tonight on Newswatch, Eastern Illinois University's president responds to questions addressing a campus alert notification that left students and staff in a panic earlier this month. And also, community leaders gather to celebrate a new beginning for a Southern Illinois airport destroyed by a tornado. Emily?
Mostly cloudy outside right now, but as we move into tomorrow, rain will return to our forecast. I'll have the full details on that rain system coming up. This is Newswatch, and your Thursday's edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.
Eastern Illinois University is addressing concerns about an emergency alert released last week, and that's our top story tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Williamson.
And I'm Emily Davis. That alert informs students and faculty of a reported armed person on campus. The university says that report was unfounded, but campus community members have raised concerns about the alert system.
In this Newswatch special report, WEIU's Olivia Bennett sits down for an exclusive interview with President Jay Gatrell to review what happened and learn about how the university will handle threats going forward.
Monday, November 10th, just before 9:30, EIU sends emergency emails and texts to staff and students on campus, and those messages said a report had been called in that an armed person was on the premises.
So I ended up going to the bathroom and hiding on the floor and with my back towards the door so that they couldn't come in if there was actually a shooter.
About 20 minutes later, another notification was sent out. That message told those on campus that buildings had been swept and no one matching the report was found.
I got another email from my professor saying that it's all clear, we're all good. I haven't received any of that, so I'm still confused. I'm still locked down.
The first message that was sent out, was that intended to function as an alert to lock down?
We can't lock down on campus because we don't have that capability, but that was an awareness that we did receive a call to a non-emergency line, a single call, and it was to make campus aware that there was a potential issue. It was a serious issue and that law enforcement would be on campus.
If we don't have the ability to lock down, what specifically is campus expected to do in a scenario of a potential shooter?
Well, we're going to expand training, and there's training called ALICE training. There's opportunities in some buildings. We can obviously lock down the buildings. In others, depending upon your location, it is a different sort of strategy to secure that location.
So why were instructions not specifically given in the email so that people reading know what to do?
Well, that's a great question. I think we've learned a lot from this. As a process, these are dynamic situations, and everybody in that room had been through the training, but I think didn't fully appreciate was that the entire campus community maybe hadn't had access to that training relative to ALICE training and how to respond in that environment. I'm going to own it. The reality was there wasn't an action-oriented communication in that piece, and that was an oversight. I think we learned from that. We're grateful it was not an emergency. I'm grateful that the law enforcement from across all of Coles County participated. They were here within minutes, Mattoon, Charleston, and Lakeland. But I think we learned through this process, and For a variety of reasons, the app technology wasn't working on phones, which is the emergency alert system, and we were having to work through Teams and some other technologies.
What changes have been implemented as of today?
Well, we've reviewed all the templates in the alert system, and we're going to focus on using the templates first and foremost, not crafting messages sort of collaboratively as we did the other day, because it's clear that we need to make sure we have action-oriented communications, and that it be brief and focused on what people need to know in that moment.
Right now, today, if there was an active shooter on EIU's campus, would we be equipped to handle it?
Well, first of all, we hope that doesn't happen. Our communication will be focused on those priorities using the templates, and I feel confident that our communication has already improved. Our strategy has already improved. We had a debriefing with sort of the emergency folks led by Chief Gamboa, and we're going to have another leadership debriefing on the 1st after the Thanksgiving holiday to begin charting out and scheduling those training sessions, and ITS is working right now on opt-out. So I feel really good about our improvements, but we just hope we don't have to use it. I mean, you don't want that sort of unfortunate event to happen. Thankfully, it was a hoax. We were not the only university that was impacted that day. As you may know, another institution also had a similar hoax at the same time.
The university followed up with a third email late last Monday morning explaining that everyone on campus is safe to resume their day. President Gatrell says the university currently uses an opt-in system to receive text alerts, but IT is in the process of changing that system to be automatic and instead requires students and faculty to opt out. He says students and faculty can register 4 phone numbers to their EIU accounts, so parents, spouses, and loved ones can also receive the messages. You can find an extended cut of the interview with President Gatrell on the WEIU Facebook page. In other news tonight, community members are honoring the life of a murdered teenager from Fayette County. On Friday, police found the body of 14-year-old Kylie Toberman in the 1100 block of West Gallatin Street in Vandalia. Police later arrested 43-year-old Arnold Rivera. He faces charges of murder, criminal sexual assault, and concealing a homicidal death. Now, community members are planning a candlelight vigil for Kylie Toberman. That vigil is scheduled tomorrow evening at 7 at the Vandalia State Capitol lawn. And now for an update on a fatal crash in Paris. That crash happened Monday near the Edgar County Courthouse. Champaign County Coroner Lori Browers says the crash happened at the intersection of West Wood Street and Central Street on Monday. She says 67-year-old Teresa Bradley died at a nearby hospital. An autopsy is pending, and the crash is still under investigation. Newswatch reached out to the Paris police for more information, but we were told we need to submit a FOIA request, which we are in the process of doing.
From another county, crews respond to a fire at a church. The Champaign Fire Department says firefighters received reports of a fire at Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church just before 12:30 yesterday afternoon. On arrival, crews saw smoke coming from the roof and windows near the top of the sanctuary. A cause of the fire is being investigated by the Champaign Police and Fire Departments. No injuries were reported. A man accused of setting a woman on fire on a Chicago train is now facing federal charges. U.S. attorneys charged 50-year-old Lawrence Reed with committing a terrorist act on a mass transportation system. They say video shows him pouring a liquid from a bottle on a 26-year-old woman and lighting her on fire.
When the train stopped and the victim was able to muster the strength to stumble on the platform, 2 good Samaritans put out the flames. She remains in critical condition, and we pray for the victim's recovery.
Reed could face life in prison if convicted. If the woman passes away, he could face the death penalty. The prosecutor said train riders did nothing to help the woman as she rolled out on the floor to try to put out the flames. It wasn't until the train stopped and she ran off that bystanders on the platform assisted her. Staying in Chicago, a federal appeals court has sided with the Trump administration over its immigration enforcement in the city. Earlier this month, a federal judge imposed strict restraints on how federal agents can interact with protesters and journalists. The judge's orders prohibited agents from using methods of force like pulling or shoving. But now an appeals court has temporarily blocked the judge's order from taking effect. The administration is fighting several legal battles over its immigration crackdown in Chicago and elsewhere.
An Illinois airport is celebrating a new beginning. On Wednesday, community leaders gathered at the Crawford County Airport in Robinson to check out some long-awaited improvements after a devastating storm. Now, on the night of March 21st, 2023, an EF3 tornado ripped through Robinson. Community-wide, the tornado caused millions of dollars in damage and took the lives of 3 people. Airport officials say the renovations include a new terminal and hangars. State Representative Adam Niemerg attended the dedication and thanked those who worked for nearly 3 years to help rebuild the facility. Mattoon city leaders have approved a permit for a new solar farm north of the city. The city council unanimously approved a special use permit for a solar farm between Evergreen Court and North 33rd Street during their meeting Tuesday night. City leaders say community members have expressed concerns about the project, but they say pending state legislation limits municipalities' ability to stop solar developments. And they say the permit approved by the council comes with conditions, including requirements for fencing and vegetation around the solar farm and limits on other development.
One of the nation's largest automakers announces a mass recall. Ford is recalling more than 200,000 2025 and 26 Bronco and Bronco Sport vehicles. The automakers say there's an issue with the instrument panel cluster, which includes warning lights and gauges on the dashboard. The company says there's been no reports of accidents or injuries, but the defective instrument panel could leave drivers without important safety information. Ford says they will fix the issue for free, and affected owners will be contacted by mail next month. Portions of Lake Shelbyville will be closed this weekend for a special event. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Wolf Creek State Park are hosting the 35th annual Lake Shelbyville Deer Hunt for people with disabilities. The hunt will happen in areas around the lake that are already closed for the year, but as a safety precaution, several other areas, including campgrounds and boat ramps, will close tomorrow and reopen Sunday. Signage should be posted, but if you have questions, you can contact the Lake Shelbyville Visitor Center.
Well, those hunters better pack some rain gear, Emily.
Especially if they plan to hunt tomorrow, but the rest of the weekend looks pleasant, and I'll run down the complete Skywatch forecast coming up.
Tired of the same old playlist? Let Hitmix 88.9 WEIU be your source for your favorite throwbacks and today's biggest hits. No skips needed. From deep dives on local topics, a lively morning show, and EIU Panther sports, we've got your back 24/7. And we're not just hitting play, we're building futures. Because behind every mic is a student making moves. It's your music, your station, Hitmix 88.9 WEIU.
We're seeing mostly cloudy skies in the area right now, but just to the south of us, we are seeing a rain system begin to push off east, but this portion of this rain system will begin to affect us as we move into tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be seeing widespread rain, but for now we're just seeing mostly cloudy skies across the area. Temperatures around the low 40s in most of the area, getting up to the 50s down in Effingham. But as we look at our high temperatures, we didn't get much higher than that. A high temperature of just 50 degrees here in Charleston, although we did get up to 52 degrees down in Effingham, but not very warm today. That's partially due to the winds that were blowing out of the north and will continue to blow out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour overnight tonight. And we're not going to cool down much overnight tonight either, because our low temperature is just 50 degrees, which was actually Charleston's high today. But those mostly cloudy skies will be staying with us overnight tonight, but there may be a few chances for some scattered showers overnight, but the real chance for rain will be tomorrow. Here are those chances for scattered showers as we move overnight tonight and eventually into tomorrow morning. But here comes that widespread rain as we move into the morning hours tomorrow. Eventually, this widespread rain will move over our area, some heavier pockets of rainfall falling in the afternoon, in the late afternoon, and this will continue as we move throughout the entire day and into the evening hours. But by the late evening, we'll be left with just mostly cloudy skies, but you will notice there will be a few more chances of rain as we move overnight Friday into Saturday morning. but that rain will clear up for a pretty pleasant weekend. But before we get to that, we're going to see an entire day of rain for your Friday. It will be widespread rain and produce quite a bit of rainfall in certain portions of the viewing area, but temperatures won't warm up too high because our high temperature tomorrow is just 51 degrees. Once again, staying in the low 50s, and that's partially due to the winds that are still blowing out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour for your daytime tomorrow. But you'll notice you're seeing over an inch of rain down in Effingham, just about an inch down in Robinson expected for the system. But up north, you're seeing just trace amounts of rainfall. So this system will be affecting more of the southern portion of our viewing area as it pushes through the daytime tomorrow. And hopefully it will be improving our drought monitor. But as of now, we're seeing the severe drought begin to shrink across the area, but the extreme drought has begun to spread across the northern portions of the viewing area. We did see rainfall in mostly the southern portion of our viewing area a few days ago, which did improve the conditions for that portion. But up north, we are seeing the extreme drought begin to spread, but more rain is on its way as we move into tomorrow. But after that, we're going to be seeing mostly clear skies for our day on Saturday. A high temperature of 50 degrees on Saturday, so once again, not too warm for your Saturday. But as we make it to Sunday, temperatures are going to warm up a little bit, getting up into the mid-50s. A high temperature of 56 degrees on Sunday under clear, sunny skies. So it is going to be a pretty pleasant weekend as we move through it. But starting next work week, there will be another chance of rain. Not as widespread as we're seeing tomorrow, but still another chance of rain on Monday, and a drop in temperature of just 49 degrees for your high on Monday. And that drop will indicate what is to come, because we are expecting below average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. That average for this time of year is typically in the low 50s. And looking at our 7-day, we're going to see a few temperatures dipping way below that. But before we get to that, we're going to see high temperatures in the 50s for a few days, dipping down to a high temperature of 49 degrees on Monday, with scattered rain showers on that day as well. But as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, we will see temperatures begin to drop down on Wednesday with a high temperature of 49 degrees on Wednesday with another chance of rain. But then we're really going to start to cool down on Thursday for your Thanksgiving with a high temperature of just 38 degrees.
Well, Emily, I was able to get out on campus a little bit earlier today. Definitely enjoyed those cooler temperatures, but it starts getting too cold and I'm just out, man. Can't handle it. Thanks, Emily. And coming up tonight in sports, U of I men's basketball looks to cement its status as one of the best teams in the nation against the top 10 squad.
But first, Eastern Illinois volleyball has no room for error, and they must win in order to host the OVC tournament. Thanks for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch report is coming up next.
A production of WEIU TV, City Spotlight, covering the communities of Effingham to Robinson to Danville to Champaign to Decatur to Taylorville and places in between. For a past decade, City Spotlight has been talking with community leaders about what's happening in their local communities across central and southeastern Illinois.
Wednesday at 7 o'clock on WEIU.
After being upset on Tuesday by Tennessee Tech, Eastern Illinois volleyball needs to win Game 2 of the series, or they lose home court advantage for the OVC tournament. Can they get the job done? Panthers drop the opening set, but Eastern steps up to the plate when it matters most and secures a 3-1 victory over the Golden Eagles, earning the top seed in the OVC. The tournament will be played at Gardella Family Court in its debut season, and it begins with EIU facing off against the Lindenwood Lions this Sunday at 4. Eastern men's basketball looks to take what they've learned from big games against Notre Dame and Kentucky as they face Division II program Tiffin. Early on, it's Tiffin making the big plays as this gorgeous pass by Demanier Davis sets up an easy three for Michael Lucarati. But the Panthers respond thanks to Terry McMorris, who slithers through the defense for a beautiful inside bucket. You want to talk about team basketball? Watch the passing on this play. Everyone touches the ball, and it leads to an open McMorris down low once again. Eastern keeps getting it done in the paint, and nobody is catching Michi White on this flawless drive to the basket. The Panthers survive an upset scare and take down the Dragons 62-50. Head coach Marty Simmons remains confident in his ball club. Says their ability to score inside the arc will pay dividends down the road.
These guys really don't have a lot of time playing together. We've had some injuries. I think I thought they grew a little bit as it went. Obviously played well in the first half. They made a run in the second to cut it. And I thought our guys showed some poise. and kind of regathered ourselves and made plays, down the stretch.
Eastern now sits at 2-3 on the young season, but their schedule doesn't get any easier. On Tuesday, the Panthers travel south to take on the Central Arkansas Bears and then take on the nation's #1 team, the Purdue Boilermakers, on Black Friday. The Panthers are improving their roster for next season after signing a guard with some EIU family history to the roster. Head coach Marty Simmons says the team has signed guard Jaden Wright for the 2026-27 season. Wright is the son of former EIU guard Jason Wright and grandson of EIU Football Hall of Famer Jerry Wright. Jaden plays for Lyle Bennett Academy and in 2 years has helped the team to a 60-12 record, the team's first ever IHSA state title. Wright has made 143 three-pointers during his high school career and is shooting 43% from behind the arc. U of I men's basketball takes on 11th-ranked Alabama in a matchup of heavy-hitting programs. Which team will get the statement victory? The Crimson Tide are in transition, but this layup is absolutely rejected by Ben Hummerkaus. And then out of nowhere, here comes Andrei Stojakovic with a filthy jam to send the crowd into a frenzy. Now Hummerkaus making plays on offense as he buries a long three-pointer to keep the Illini in front. But Bama's offense just keeps making plays, including this big-time tray by top NBA prospect LeBaron Philon. With just over a minute left, Philon does it again, draining the dagger to seal an Alabama win. The Crimson Tide get a huge victory and take down Illinois 90-86. The Indiana State men's basketball team looks to bounce back after a blowout loss to Duke. The Sycamores take down Louisiana Tech 60-51 and now move to 3-2 on the season. Camp Wagner leads ISU with 16 points, and Ian Scott had himself a night, posting a 12-point, 12-rebound double-double. Sycamore's defense also plays a huge part in the win, forcing the Bulldogs to shoot under 30% from the field. Indiana State will be back in action on Saturday as they host Ball State. Nationally, the Chicago Bulls look to get a big West Coast road win as they travel to Portland to face the Trailblazers. Well, we haven't invented flying cars, but we've apparently invented flying people because Matas Buzelis is soaring to the hoop on this two-handed jam. The Bulls missed Kobe White earlier this season, but he's back and better than ever as he drains this three from outer space. Chicago has a huge lead, but it disappears quicker than money at a Vegas casino thanks to the efforts of Denny Avdia, who drains bucket after bucket after bucket. Down 4 with 10 seconds left, White hits a massive three to keep the Bulls in the game. Portland misses a free throw, and it comes down to Nikola Vucevic from behind the arc for the win, and he buries it. The former Magic star makes magic again, and the Bulls pick up their 8th win of the season as they take down the Blazers 122-121. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Pacers need to win more than ever after a 1-13 start to their season. Can they finally get a victory against the Charlotte Hornets? Your early favorite for NBA Rookie of the Year is 4th overall pick Con Knippel, and this brilliant inside bucket is part of his 28 points on the night. But Indiana's offense is finally cooking, and 2 big buckets right before half from Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin helped the Pacers grow a 16-point edge at the break. And in the third, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Jay Huff who flies in for the mean poster. The Pacers needed a win, and they got it, taking down the Hornets 127-118. Finally tonight, Lakeland women's basketball looks to end a 3-game losing streak. The Lakers take on Lincoln Trail College tomorrow for the first of 3 away games. And that's all for sports, Matt. Over to you.
All right, thanks, Matthew. In other news tonight, the holiday season is right around the corner. And with that, one special place in Champaign County is taking the national stage. Hardy's Reindeer Ranch in Rantoul will represent Illinois in a segment on Good Morning America. And it's scheduled to air tomorrow morning between 6 and 8. The ranch started in 1995 and features more than a dozen reindeer, a gift shop, and a Western-style banquet hall. WEIU also featured Hardy's Reindeer Ranch on a segment of Paw Report. And finally on this Thursday, we find love in the water, not in the air, in tonight's parting story. An Illinois couple who met at a YMCA water aerobics class have tied the knot. 82-year-old Edward LaRue met 78-year-old Marlene Parsons in the class in Maryville. They had both lost their longtime spouses 6 years earlier. But But after some playful splashing, they realized how much they actually liked each other. It turns out the aquatics director is a minister, so they decided to take the big plunge in the pool. The wedding included a bouquet toss and a dance. They even ended the ceremony the same way their romance started, with some playful splashing. Well, fitting that tonight's parting story deals with water, because more precipitation is on the way for central Illinois. Back to recap that is Emily Davis.
That's right, more rain is on the way, and it's going to be raining for the majority of the daytime tomorrow, rain throughout the entire day, and high temperatures not warming up very far past our low, with a high temperature of just 51 degrees tomorrow. But as we look forward to the weekend, we're going to be seeing a pretty pleasant weekend, a high temperature of 50 degrees on Saturday, before warming up on Sunday to a high of 56 degrees, but temperatures will cool back down again on Monday with a high of just 49 degrees, with another chance of rain entering the forecast as we start next work week. It will warm up as we make it to around Tuesday with a high near 60, a high of 58 degrees, but then the cool down will begin around midweek, eventually getting down into the 30s by Thursday for Thanksgiving. That's a final look at your Skywatch forecast. Now back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Emily. That's all the time we have for tonight's edition of Newswatch. BBC News is coming up next on WEIU. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon. Whatever the occasion, it's an environment for an evening of dining, conversation, and cocktails. Whatever your needs, our staff is ready. Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon, located at the Cross County Mall, Mattoon.